What is up, everybody? Josh here again, and today we have an Icarus Week 91 update. This week they've added performance-ish and wind power, and they've made some big changes. Let's get into it. This week brings the fixes for hitching, stutters, which I haven't noticed much of a difference on, and new wind turbines. They're working on performance improvements. They also have some updates on Hypatia and the long-awaited wind power system. Some important fixes this week are fixes to outposts, so they spawn all creatures, fixes of voxel mining audio, which is causing the machine gun-like sound effect that would not stop. Thank Jesus they finally fixed that. Fix for deployable structure not being cleaned up unless host or server was restarted. Fixed issue where the weather events were played inside caves. Also fixed an issue where weather effects would appear incorrectly when mounted. Also fixed issue with the ice borer could not be snapped and deployed. It can now. Fixed issue with minerals and ores would sometimes revert to unminable gray chunks. Frozen ore is now scaled based on the ore gained, not chance per hit, providing more overall frozen ore. And fixed issues on Prometheus where unstuck would place players outside the map bounds. And they also fixed that you couldn't upgrade buildings to Scoria brick. They also go into major performance improvements and go through a really detailed section about threading. They also go into a detailed section about time slicing, startup times, navlesh moding, garbage collection, all kinds of stuff like that. There's just a lot of inside jargon there to kind of explain that they did some optimizations to the game. Comment down below if you're having a lot of changes as far as your optimization in the game goes, and if you are interested in reading this section, we're not going to read it out loud just because it's kind of a long drawn out section, but if you want, there will be a link to this in the description down below. They've also added a new wind power turbine, and wind power is finally here in Icarus. It is a tier 4 deployable for your tier 3 items and tier 4 items. It needs a lot of space for it to run for some reason, and unlike solar panels, they'll work around the clock, do not require cleaning like water wheels do. Makes the most efficient and easiest system to deploy and use, even though they have to be spread out so far apart for some reason. They also talk a little bit about batteries, with wind turbines being the third sustainable power source. They're working on batteries, and they talk about how they will have that in a future update. They also talk about how they're going to have to rework the system for the on-off state for equipment in your base before they add batteries, and they look to have it released in the future. And we're going to go ahead and show you the new wind turbine. It is unlocked in tier 4, and it is crafted for 8 electronics, 20 steel screws, 25 aluminum ingots, 35 copper wire, 25 gold wire, and 5 carbon fiber, which to me is actually quite cheap, and it requires a fabricator and provides a whopping total of 1750 power. You also can find it in the very bottom of the fabricator right here. This is what the wind turbine looks like, and it is kind of, I don't really necessarily like the fact that it requires so much space to be apart from each other. It is not hooked up currently to powers, but for demonstration purposes, we have them about 4 blocks apart. So if you were to pick this up and place it any closer than 4 blocks, like so, we'll place it within the 4 blocks, you'll notice that you'll get a little notification here that says area surrounding blades is blocked, and it will stop any other surrounding windmills around. So you're telling me that a windmill can't get air from here to there? Okay. Sure, they have a short update on Hypatia, where they're basically stating that they can now focus on Hypatia and bringing open world missions to Olympus and Styx, and that they're going to continue the development of that, and that they can now bring it to you a little bit quicker. They are going to postpone the Biolab update for the future, so we can bring them quicker to you. And they're going to continue with their weekly updates and new content and quality of life as they come. So the only good thing I can see out of this update is that next week we may get a new mount. I refused to use mounts. I actually ended up killing all my mounts yesterday out of a fit of rage for the module change. It looks like we're getting a new horse next week in 92, and they show a picture of it there. And they say support the project. Honestly, I wouldn't at this point, because I'm extremely dissatisfied with the way they're bringing this game. So let me show you another real quick change that they made. So you can't stack modules anymore, no matter what the module. Look, I'm lagging like crazy right now. They did not optimize this game at all. They did not. I'm not getting whatsoever some kind of optimization. But anyway, so basically, if you try to stack modules now, if you stack it past 1, you'll get a 50% reduction of that module, and you'll also, if you stack it up to 3, you'll get a 75 reduction in a module. And I can only imagine what you get on the 4 slaughter with modules now if you stack it up to 4 times. So they completely ruin modules, in my opinion, and are trying to force you into other modules that you don't want to choose, and remove the customization of the game, in my opinion, for modules. But this is going to make me play the game a lot less, probably, and probably want to do a lot less content for it. So, not to mention that, but they also changed maybe about 3 or 4 of my videos right off the bat. This game changes so much for a released, air quotes, released game that it really, really blows my mind. I've never once seen a game that was quote unquote fully released that changes this much. Seriously. Also, they have changed the icon for tree sap, so it is different now, as well as epoxy. It is much, much different now. We're going to just skim over the changelog this week. Basically, in the new content section, they added wind turbines. Their horribleness. I mean, I really don't know why they have to be so freaking far apart. Can you not just let them have, like, maybe a block or two apart? Like, seriously, who's got the base space? Why do you have to make really large bases just so you can power them? Like, why do we have to babysit power to begin with? Do you know how many games are out there that you don't have to babysit power? Like, I can understand a fuel can running out and stuff like that. Why does the wind turbines got to be so far apart? Why do you got to make stuff not fun and always a chore? Going over the thick section this week real quick. This is, I think, one of their biggest mistakes, especially for our group and crew. We really are pissed about this. But adjusted module stacking to only allow diminishing returns to specific modules. I know 2 people that's quit the game just because of this. Wind turbines used to be even more expensive too. Thank God that ice borers no longer fall through the terrain when dropped. Seismic tools now use refined wood in addition to carbon fiber. Looks like crocodiles are maybe spawning more in the grasslands near water. Clamping resistances to 99%. Looks like they tweaked the placement of many workshop items for visual consistency. They removed all vehicles related to code and dependent assets to free up linker library items, which means they basically are done with vehicles. Which, whatever. You can crit redbacks now, and they have an armored shell. Elemental weapon effects are now increased on Prometheus creatures. And that's all I see for this changelog. Thank you so much to the Late Night Crew, KHX, Wolfie, Sergio, Sandy, Silver, John, Diana, EMC2, Rodnob, Novocaine, Aaron, Juan, and Steady Bob. Thank you so much for being Late Night Crew supporters and for supporting the channel. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Guys, that's it for this video. Don't forget, if you like what you see, to like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Subscribe for the update videos. We will continue to do those, I think, for now. As far as the videos themselves, the content videos or guide videos we have so many of those now that need changed because this game has changed so much over the past just couple of months. Even just the past couple of weeks, to be honest. We may or may not be updating those, just to be completely honest with you. I don't know if I have it in me anymore to just keep spending days of my personal time to sit here and constantly update videos for a game that's fully released. We may just go over to another game that's fully released and do content for it. We'll see. But we'll probably continue at least doing the update videos for sure. I got to take a personal break anyway, and we have Starfield coming out on the 5th. We're going to be doing some Starfield content the 5th. So hope to see you then. If you're interested in Starfield content, we also have very first of the year. We have some Nightingale content coming out. I'm going to go get my finances in order and all kinds of stuff like that because I have to do that or I will go financially bankrupt. And hopefully we'll see you next time. Peace.